Alright, you guys, welcome back to episode 12 of the Pity to Purpose podcast, where I'm here to help you strengthen your relationship with God and help you position yourself for your greater life purpose. I am your host, Parker Seymour, and in this week's episode, we're going to break down 3 common myths about life purpose, and I'm going to teach you the real truths behind them, and which I believe is going to bring massive clarity to you. So if you grew up like me, you probably believe that your life purpose meant it could only fit within the bounds of the 3 things that I'm going to share with you today. And in this episode, I'm going to show you how that's not the case. I'm going to break off that mindset and help you and teach you some life-changing perspectives that I believe is really going to help you. So without wasting any time, let's go ahead and jump straight into it. The first myth about purpose we're going to discuss is that our purpose can only be one certain career or job. Now, this is something I've personally struggled with my whole life. And I would always remember praying and asking God to show me what He wants me to do with my life. But I would never get that clear answer from Him. Now, like many, I used to be under this impression that my greater life purpose could only mean what my career or my job is. But as I grew in my faith, the more I learned how this isn't the case. Now, certain career choices certainly can be expressions of our life purpose, such as a doctor or a lawyer, police officer, business marketer, and so on. But the truth is that it doesn't quite need to be. God's greater purpose for you could be to help other people live healthier lives. And one of the ways you could express that is through being a doctor or a fitness coach or a nutritionist or therapist. Now, you could also be an entrepreneur or an engineer who plants and builds workout facilities or even develops medicines. Now, you could even be someone who creates a new way to express your unique purpose and combine multiple aspects of already existing roles. Now, this is one mindset I had to overcome to understand that my purpose didn't have to fit a certain narrative of my life and career choice. I learned that deep down, I always wanted to be an entrepreneur because I always had the deep hunger to own my own business and create that. But during this current season of my life, God has aligned me with some different sources to assist me in understanding my passion and calling from a kingdom mindset and showing me that I can use this entrepreneurial spirit to serve other people. Now, my deep passion, deep within, is to help people become the best versions of themselves. And I know that because I know that every single person has a purpose and I want to help them find it and thrive in it. The ways I combine and express both my passions for helping people and entrepreneurship is that I've created this clothing brand called No Pity Parties. And if you haven't heard of it, it's designed to help struggling Christians shake off the weights of their past and motivate them to rise up in their faith and thrive in their greater purpose that God has for them. Now, the other way I express those passions is through this podcast and YouTube channel. You know, I get to come on here every week and teach you guys practical things to help you grow stronger in your faith, to position you to thrive in your greater life purpose. And I'm also doing research for another project that right now I can't go into too much detail on right now, but it's combining everything that I'm already doing that's going to be able to serve you at a greater level in the future. And I hope all of that brings you clarity and understanding. That's it for the first myth. Let's go ahead and move on to the second one. The second myth we're going to discuss is that your greater life purpose has to solve a global scale impact. Or it has to have a global scale impact. Now, what this means is that whatever you do with your life, it has to solve a worldwide problem. It could be curing cancer, or finding the answer to achieving world peace, or even solving world hunger. Sure, now, most certainly, you can reach this level of success, but it doesn't have to be. Our reach can be looked at as the compound or the ripple effect. Now, hypothetically speaking, let's say a big part of your purpose is to massively help and transform one person's life. Your whole life was spent pouring into just this one person. Now, let's say this person goes out and helps 10 people, and those 10 people go out and helps 100 people each, and each of those 100 people goes out and they help 1,000 people each, and so on. So I didn't do the math on this, but let's just say that after 75 years, this one person that you helped and poured into, they started this compound effect, which caused massive impact in the lives of 10 million other people all over around the world. Because of the one person you were faithful to serving and impacting, it later led to multiple millions of impacted lives because of the legacy that you left on just that one person. Now, your purpose can sound simple, or it can appear to be on a smaller scale, but who knows what can happen through impacting and sparking change in just one person's life. So that is it for myth number 2. The third and final myth we're going to break down and discuss is that your purpose has to be one certain lifelong path. This is sort of a piggyback off of the first one that we talked about. Now, this one it is believed that our life purpose can only be the same exact thing for our entire lives, and we never really get the opportunity to do something different. Now, the truth is that our life purpose is the essence of our calling. That means it can be lived out and conveyed as a wide variety of careers or actions. These careers and actions may change over time as you evolve and as you choose to express yourself differently through your purpose. So let's say in this season of your life, maybe you're somebody who is maxing out as in your career as a doctor, but let's say for the past several years you've been studying teaching and you want to maybe pivot careers. So that maybe you could take your years of expertise and start a YouTube channel, or become a TV personality, or to do something similarly to what Dr. Phil does. That's an option for you. Or maybe you could even retire and become a full-time missionary and go into remote countries and help people all around the world in treating illnesses. That's just one example. Let's say maybe you're an entrepreneur. You don't have to stay stuck in that business for the rest of your life if you feel like you're ready to pivot and do something greater. If you're the only person running that business, maybe an option for you is to sell it and take your time back and put it towards another project or building a new business. Maybe another option for you is to maybe you could hire a team and start delegating some of those tasks to where you can eventually start taking your hands out of the business and put your time towards a new project. But just remember, as a disclaimer, I'm not an expert level entrepreneur, nor am I a business coach, nor am I a business growth strategist. So I'm very young still in my journey. So what I shared with you is mainly just textbooks. So definitely do more researching and outsourcing on that. And also know too that this is not financial advice by any means. I'm just simply helping you see what I'm trying to tell you from a different perspective, so you can apply these things and help you maybe make that pivot or that change that maybe you feel like you need to make. So those are the 3 big myths about purpose that maybe most of us tend to believe. And as a quick recap, those 3 were: your purpose has to be a certain career. The second one was that our life purpose has to have a global scale impact. And the third one was that it has to be a lifelong path. So in this week's episode, or in this week, I want you to take from this episode and apply just one thing that gave you massive value and apply it to your walk, wherever you are in your journey, and how you look at your life purpose. My mission with this podcast is to gear up and equip Christians to strengthen their faith, to position themselves in a place where they are ready to walk in their fuller potential and live out their greater life purpose. If you feel like the information I shared with you today benefited you in some way, definitely consider subscribing if you haven't already. So that is all I have for you in this week's episode. Thank you so much for tuning in with me to another episode. Again, I am your host, Parker Seymour, and be sure to subscribe again if you haven't already, and check out the links in the description below, and we will see you next week in another Pity to Purpose episode.